Show. Is your pug acting a little peculiar, maybe a lot peculiar? Does your Siamese kitten have you totally stumped? Are you being dominated by your dachshund? You know you are. Well, if you love your dogs and cats, and I assume you do, and really, really want to get inside their heads to understand the way they think, perhaps understand your dogs and cats almost as well as they understand you, or maybe you're just a little confused about why your dog behaves a certain way, or perhaps why your cat behaves a certain way, or you just want to improve their lifestyle, you know what to do, right? Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show. That's right, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So, hop up on my couch, bring those adorable little puppies with you and those kittens. It is time for the animal analyzing to begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect your pets as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergrowing Pet Show family, and of course you do, if you have a question or a comment, want to share a great story, your dog is jumping or digging, your cat is scratching, doesn't get along with the new cat, you took your dog for a walk and he chased the neighbor down the block, he's barking all night long, your cat woke you up in the middle of the night, looks at the litter box and says, "No way am I peeing in there." Get the idea, right? That's what the Pet Show's all about. We try to resolve any issues you may be having with your pets, any issues they may be having with you, but at the same time, looking at your dog or cat's behavior from their perspective. You know, so many people look at it from our perspective. Sometimes we have to kind of back off a little bit and look at your dog or cat's behavior. And by doing that, you'll understand them an awful lot better. So if you have a question or a comment, just want to share a great story about your dog or cat, great time to give me a call. I do got some great stuff to give away on today's show. I got a lot of air horns to give away. Coyote season is here. The brand new t-shirts, Hugs and Kisses t-shirts, now come in a variety of colors. I mean, I'm colorblind, but we have every color under the sun, and even sizes up to 5XL. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on the show. But if you have a question or if you have a comment, just want to share a great story, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-KRLA. Or if you're more of a numbers person, that's 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. Man, do we have a busy show for you today. First of all, let me wish everyone a very, very happy Easter and a very happy Passover. Make sure you know where your dogs are. Make sure you know where your cats are. And please, if you're having Passover dinners or Easter dinners, please, your company's coming over, don't let them give the dogs or your cats all the junk food. I mean junk food, but the food that the dogs and cats should not have. Make sure they're safe. Maybe a room of their own is the way to go so they don't get loose. But just be careful, because a lot of people celebrating Passover and celebrating Easter. We want to make sure our pets are safe as well. So I know what you're saying. Okay, Warren, what's coming up on today's show? Man, do I have a busy show. First of all, did you know, just like teenage humans, I was one of them, and what a pain in the butt I was. Just like teenage humans, your teenage dog will find it fun. I mean, really, really find it fun to figure out what really annoys you. That's right. Your dog is smart enough to figure out what really annoys you when they're teenagers and what gets them the most attention. Don't take it personally. The challenges of a teenage dog coming up on today's show. If you have one, give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. I get a lot of people, my dog's a juvenile delinquent. Well, what do I do with my dog? Do I have to send him away to criminal? No, we're going to talk about teenage dogs. And believe me, if you think I'm making this up, anyone who's ever lived with a teenage dog, and I'll talk about their ages later, knows that they really push you right to the edge, but in a loving way. So teenage dogs coming up on today's show. No, they don't have to be delinquents either. Also coming up, on the show, we often talk about how our dogs are affectionate, how they show us tremendous amount of affection and loving in many, many different ways. Well, someone wrote me a letter this week and said, not a letter, but a text, and said, you know what, Warren? What about cats? My belief, hear me out on this one, I believe that cats are just as affectionate as dogs. Boom! People's heads are blowing up right now. Coming up, how do cats really show affection? I bet a lot of people don't know, don't even realize their cats are being affectionate. Great, but if you have an affectionate cat, I'd love to hear from you guys as well. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Great time to give me a call. The phones are always jamming here, but it's Easter weekend, so we're going to have a few open lines. So if you have questions or comments or want to share a story, great time to call me, 866-870-5752. Now, we're going to talk about teenage dogs, but we're also going to talk about other dogs as well. You know, many of my listeners have senior pets, and I love you guys. I adore you guys. Many of those senior pets are rescued pets. But very often, people don't want to admit that there's something going on with their dog as they get older. So what do? They ignore it. Being proactive instead of being reactive when it comes to the health of senior pets can improve their comfort and happiness. What changes you need to be aware of as your pets get older? Now, we all know we slow down as we get older, and our dogs slow down as they get older as well. But there are other signs you should need to really look for. We'll talk about those coming up a little bit later. I'd like to hear from some people, by the way, if they have a senior dog out there as well. And yes. Female dogs hump too. What an argument I had with someone. They said I was absolutely crazy. Because you know what? Female dogs can hump as well. And they said, well, why would a female dog hump another female dog, or a female dog hump a male dog? The answer is yes. Female dogs hump too. Anyone have a female dog out there that's humping? There's a lot of other reasons for it, so we'll talk about that as well. I'm not crazy, folks. Take it from me. Female dogs hump. Not as much as male dogs, but they do hump as well. Again, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your questions and comments. Lots of good stuff to give away. I got some T-shirts to give away. As I said, brand new colors, air horns. I'm going to give away a bunch of air horns today on the Pet Show. Copies of my best-selling books by Random House, either How to Get Your Dog or How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Got some great products also. If you have speaking of senior pets or dogs or cats with challenge, I got some great products and calming and recovery products from the people over at acornpets.com as well. So plenty of time to answer your pet questions, plenty of time to help you guys cope with all your pets' problems. And the question of the day is, you ready? Anyone going to answer this? Who has the guts? Come on now. Do you believe, like I do, that cats are just as affectionate as dogs? Wow, did he really say that? Are cats just as affectionate as dogs? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-5752. And celebrating Passover and Easter. Actually, you know, I'm Jewish. My wife is Catholic. But yesterday, Friday, I guess Good Friday, I took her over to took Denise over to the Catholic Church. And it was kind of an interesting experience for me because, you know, I go inside and I look around. What a beautiful church it was also in Arizona. But then kind of just before the ceremony starts, I kind of leave and had a great conversation with one of the pastors. I'm not even sure just an amazing conversation. And it was explained to me, you know, just because you're Jewish, Warren, doesn't mean you can't come here to the services, especially on Easter, because a lot of the Easter services has to do with Judaism in the Old Testament. I said, thank you, Father. Thank you. I appreciate that. So anyway, it was kind of interesting. And I guess, you know, I'm kind of, I find it interesting kind of experimenting all these different things, you know, whether it be Judaism, Catholicism, Buddhism, Hinduism, just fascinating stuff as you get older, stuff you get interested in as you get closer to meeting the Creator. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. As I said, plenty of time for your calls, lots of great stuff to give away. Now, before I even get started today, I am going to talk about the T-shirts. And why am I going to talk about the T-shirts? I'm going to tell you right now. We now have redesigned the Hugs and Kisses T-shirts with a dozen new colors. And as I said, sizes up to 5XL. But why am I so excited about the T-shirts? Because the money raised by the T-shirts goes directly to the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, helping thousands of small mom-and-pop organizations all across America. You hear me talk about them, you'll hear me talk about them more. So if you're looking for a great, colorful T-shirt that says, "None of my friends walk upright," check out the website, thepetshow.com. That's the only place they're available, thepetshow.com. By the way, if you've not been to my website, there's some really great information there, literally hundreds of articles. You can listen to archived radio shows, podcasts. So check out thepetshow.com. That's thepetshow.com. Again, the number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Now, last week I got a really interesting response because if you are listening to the show last week, as well you should have, I kind of apologized. What did I do wrong? Well, here's what I did wrong. I tell people when they call up on the show, and it's going to happen today, hey, Warren, let me tell you about my mixed breed dog. Hey, Warren, let me tell you about my mutt. Hey, Warren, let me tell you about my American domestic. And for years, I would correct you and say, well, you know, I'd rather you call them blended breed. I'd rather you call them something different than a mixed breed or a mutt, or even say you're a dog owner, because I've been correcting people when they use the term owner and saying you're a guardian. And I apologize for that. Why would I apologize? Because it occurred to me, one of my listeners sent me a note, and they said, you know, Warren, I had dogs my entire life. I and so many thousands of other people still consider themselves the owner. We love them just as much, but we still call them mixed breeds. We call them mutts. And we love them just as much as someone who calls their dog or their cat something different, or says that they're the guardian. And I thought about it, and I said, okay, Warren, you've been doing this for a while now. Are you wrong? And I was wrong. It occurred to me, and especially, I mean, you know, I'm doing my LA show now, but when I do my national Canadian show, Armed Forces Radio, Radio America show right after this, a lot of my listeners will call up and say mixed breed or mutt from all over the country, and I'm no longer correcting them. And you know why? Because I listen to them, I watch them, and I hear them. And their love for their dogs and their cats or their horses or whatever pets they have is no less than the love that someone who calls himself a guardian versus an owner has. So I guess I got into that woke syndrome, trying to be politically correct. If you love your dog, if you love your cat, what you call yourself doesn't make any difference to me anymore as long as you adore them, love them, and respect them. That's what it's all about. Agree or disagree? Am I wrong for accepting owner or accepting mutt or mixed breed? Love to hear from you guys as well. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the Pet Show. And again, happy Easter, happy Passover. Let me do this. Let me take a break. Joey, when we come back, we'll get to you. We'll get to you, Frank, as well. The number's here, 866-870-5752. As I said, plenty of time for your calls. And do you celebrate the holidays? Are you celebrating? I mean, do you have Easter dinner or Passover dinners? Do you include your pets in those? Or some people put their dogs and cats away. I don't get that because my dogs and cats are part of the family. What do you do? I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA. A quick break, then right to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. That's what I do. The only thing I listen to are the bow wows and the meows. I've learned more from spending time with the animals I spend time with than any individual I've ever spent time with. It's just that they just observing them is so interesting and so educational. By the way, if you have a question or comment about your dog or cat's behavior, great time to give me a call. We are broadcasting live if you want to see the face behind the microphone on my YouTube channel. And you should subscribe. It's free. We're adding a lot of new stuff. There's going to be a lot of changes. So check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. As I said, subscribe. It's free. I'm telling you, and I've been telling you for a couple of weeks, there's going to be some major changes. You're going to want to be at youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me get to the phones. We got Joey with a question about feral cats. We got Frank who wants to thank me. I always take those. And we got David who wants to talk about the mutt breed. But right now, let me go to Joey in Orange County. Hey, Joey, welcome to the show.
Hi there, Warren. When you opened it, I don't have a question, but you said if I have a story. And I just wrote the story this morning about kitties. I do kitty rescue, and I have a pregnant mommy right now, or not pregnant. She's got 4 kittens. She was pregnant when I trapped her and put her in my cat condominium. And So I was, let's see, I just wanted to say, I spent a lot of time with the kittens this morning. They are so adorable, totally innocent, looking around at their limited world with their little eyes. And the mommy let me touch her while she was nursing. I think of Kiki, who was totally feral when I met her and her kittens under a rose bush in a neighbor's backyard. It took a very long time and many hours to tame her. She stayed outdoors, and that's where we fed her. Now she sleeps next to me in my bed, and she no longer hurries to get out and away. Instead, she lingers inside or goes out to the bathroom, comes back in. I no longer have to go out and bring her in. She brings herself in the late afternoon, just comes in the window. What a changed kitty, and so lovely, too. So there's hope for Callie Kelly, who hisses and spits at me, even though I give her a safe place to have her babies and serve all her needs like a lady in waiting. Gratitude is not one of her strong points, but I hope she gets over her fear. And
well, you know, Joey,
like
it's fascinating. It's fascinating to me how sometimes we as humans expect changes to occur a lot more rapidly with our dogs and cats than they do. Dogs and cats are creatures of learning through association. So, yeah, there are some feral cats. I'll be honest with you. There are some feral cats who are really, really tough situations that I pulled dogs out of. I remember one dog in specifically that took me almost 2 years to get to the point where he was just absolutely adorable. And with some of the cats I've rescued, even my cat Mowdy, who I talk about in my autobiography, she was a feral cat, and it took me a while to kind of calm her. She just jumped on a window one day and refused to leave. And it took me a while, but her and my dog at the time, Tig, the Amstaff, they used to get along great, but it didn't happen overnight. I think so many people lose their patience when they're trying to socialize a feral cat or socialize a dog that's coming from a shelter or a dog that's been out on the streets. And it just takes, just like with people, every one of them, it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more patience. Some learn faster, some calm down a little bit faster. But I'll give you an example. I've had Molly and Willie now, my two rescue dogs, for I guess 6 years, 5 years, 6 years maybe. And Willie, to this day, 6 years later, when you walk behind him, he always has to kind of stop and look around because he was so abused. He was kicked and God knows what else. I'd love to meet those people. But anyway, so yeah, just patience and time, and I'm sure the hissing will stop and you'll have a second cat in bed with you. No doubt about it, Joey.
Your lady wanted me to tell you that I called like a couple of months ago, and they said they were going to send me something. They took my address, but you never suggested it at the end of the call, and it never happened. So
what was I? Do you remember what I was going to send you?
It was Lucy pet food.
Okay, well, I'm not going to be sending Lucy pet food right now. What I can do, I'll be sending Lucy pet food again in a bit. But what I'm going to do is, I don't know what happened to that. Usually they send it right away. But I'm not going to be sending Lucy pet food. But I will send you a T-shirt to make up for the Lucy pet shirt. So let me do that. Let me put you on hold. Let's get your name and address and a None of My Friends Walk Upright T-shirt. And bless you for the work that you do. I have such admiration, such thrills about people that do rescue work, whether it be feral cat rescue or dog rescue. And by the way, the dog I was talking about that took me almost 2 years was a dog I pulled out of I broke up, when I was a peace officer in New York, I broke up a dog fighting ring in Suffolk County on Long Island. And one of the dogs was just so horribly abused that he had this heavy chain around his neck, but it had been on since he was a puppy, so his skin actually grew over the chain. And I don't want to go into the details too much, but it took me 2 years to bring this dog around, and I got to tell you, he turned out to be the most phenomenal dog. That turned out to be, we found him the perfect home, and I actually stayed with the people that were willing to foster him and ultimately adopt him for 2 years, and what a difference it made. It just, anyone who's ever rescued a dog or cat and has seen the change from the day they rescued them to a couple of weeks, a couple of months, or a year, or whatever it is later, that's what it's all about. What it's all about is seeing that, God, this is so cliche, is that frown turn into a smile. That's what it's all about. Great call, by the way, Joey. I really do appreciate it. Sorry I didn't get that, but we'll be giving Lucy pet food away again in a couple of weeks, I promise. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I do have, besides T-shirts, I do have some air horns to give away, copies of my best-selling books to give away, some stuff from Acorn Pet to give away. So still got lots of great stuff to give away on the show as well. We're going to get to you, Frank, because I definitely want to talk to you, and I definitely want to talk to you, David, as well. Before I do that, though, I want to take a moment here because I don't want to run out of time. I want to define what a senior pet is. Since senior pets often require a lot of special care, I put together a list of how people can tell when they consider or when their pet is considered older. Let me give you an example. A cat is generally considered a senior when they hit about 10 years old. They may still be spry, but they're considered a senior when they hit about 10 years old. Now, small dogs, the ones I'm talking about, Chihuahuas and Pekingese, small dogs, less than 20 pounds, generally they're considered seniors anywhere from 8 to 11 years. When we get to the medium dogs, 20 to 50 pounds, 8 to 10 years is considered senior. Large dogs, 50 to 90 pounds, 8 to 9 years. And those giant breeds that I absolutely adore, the Great Pyrenees, the St. Bernard, the Mastiffs, the Neapolitans, the Leonbergers, all of them. Their lifespan is, if they're over 90 pounds, generally 6 to 7 years. Yeah, there's a lot that live longer, but 6 to 7 years for those giant breeds is about what they get. So knowing when you have a senior dog or a senior cat is really, really important as well. And special care as well. You should be taking them to the vet more frequently and watching them a little more carefully as well. Still coming up on today's show, we're going to take a look at, do female dogs hump? Yeah, they do. I got into an argument with someone and said, Warren, you're crazy. Only male dogs hump. Female dogs don't hump. It's 2025, dudes. They do hump, and they've been humping for many, many years. And we're going to talk about female dogs and why they hump. And no, it's not sexual behavior, I promise. We'll talk about that. Take all your questions, 866-870-KRLA. I want to hear about this. I know that someone has a response to this, but I apologized last week, and I got a really good response on my social media. I would say that 95% was people saying, yeah, you're absolutely right, Warren. And they accepted my apology because it doesn't make any difference if you call yourself the guardian, if you call yourself the owner, if you take the most incredible care, love your dog, love your cat as much as you want. I guess I fell into that wokeness, and I apologize for that. I've been doing it for a few years. But from now on, as long as you love your dog, love your cat, treat them properly. What you want to call yourself the mom or pop, that's fine. I do that all the time. But I'm not going to correct people if they want to call themselves their owner or their guardian. It's up to you. As long as you love and treat them properly, that's what it's all about. Let me take a real quick break. Frank, I'm going to get to you and come back. David, you're up after that. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. I want to hear from some people out there, of people that rescued their dogs and how long it took their dog or cat to kind of adapt to them. That can guide other people in terms of rescue as well. And again, the question of the day is, do you believe that cats, and I've asked this before, and it always prompts a lot of response, do you believe that cats or dogs are more affectionate? Cats or dogs more affectionate, or is it just the way you treat them? Give me a call, 866-870-5752. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Got some great stuff to give away. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Then watching dolphins in the wild. I don't think there's anything more beautiful than just watching the way they tease us. They really do. They play with us. They're I've been in the water several times with and it's amazing to see how much smarter they are than we are sometimes, but their personalities are also amazing. Hey, great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. We're broadcasting live, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. YouTube, I'm looking at that thing on my head, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me get to the phones here. Let's take Frank, then David, then Don. Let's go to Frank first in Long Beach. Hey, Frank in Long Beach, welcome to the show.
Hey, Warren. Thank you for having me. I just want to say I really enjoy your show. I always tune in every Saturday morning, and I really get a great relaxing feeling just listening to you guys converse. So I got one male cat. Me and my housemates have this house cat, basically, and he's kind of fickle, Sometimes he'll be out of the house and in the neighborhood for hours on end. And I'm just wondering, how do I get them to stay home more? If that's even possible. I'm kind of worried about it.
It's called a door, Frank.
I got to get one of those.
Yeah, you got to try.
Right.
First of all, a couple of things. I can hear in your voice that you really have a lot of affection for this cat.
Yes,
and
sir.
I hope your roommates do as well.
I think so.
Yeah, the thing to remember, though, is I know we all want to give our cats the freedom of being outside. Look at the birds, look at the trees, look at the car that just ran you over. I am not a fan of cats being outside if we can help it, unless you and your roommates are willing to build a little cat atrium maybe where you are, or get something to that effect. That's really important. But what I would try to do is make the inside of your home as interesting as the outside is, bringing new items in every day, boxes, bags, organic catnip. The average lifespan of an indoor cat is somewhere between 14 and 15 years. The average lifespan of an outdoor cat is somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 years. So sometimes people say, well, we want to give the cat the freedom, but it's not the 50s anymore. It's way too dangerous out there. Stray dogs, stray cats, stray people, God knows what's roaming the streets. So my recommendation would be to transfer the outdoor cat to the indoor cat. If there's a litter problem, because a lot of cats that were outdoor don't like using indoor litter boxes, you can take a litter box and fill it with sand and dirt from the outside to start encouraging her to use the litter box and then make the switch. But I really think that by bringing a lot of new items in the house and making your home as mentally stimulating for the cat as the outside is, you can transfer that. You can also take the time, if you and your roommates want, to teach the cat to walk on a leash and a harness. But the safe way is getting the cat to enjoy the inside as much as the outside. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's really the right thing to do there, Frank.
I hear you, Warren. That makes a lot of sense. And, I think part of the problem was when my roommates found him, they found him in Santa Cruz, and Santa Cruz is really outdoorsy. So I think he got used to that freedom in nature. And now we're living in the city. And
listen, just look at the cat and say, "Hey, dude, you're not in Santa Cruz anymore." You know what I'd love to do, Frank? If it's okay with you, I'd love to send you a copy of how to get your cat to do what you want. There's it'll teach you. I appreciate
that. Yeah,
everything you need to know. And in fact, even in that book is the way I taught my cat to walk on a leash and harness. And so if you want to do that, and there's some other great advice, making the inside more outside interesting. All of those things make a big difference. And don't thank me for my show. I thank you guys for what you do. The rescuing. This is the second call in a row of rescuing cats or taking care of cats. And I think that's just amazing. And one of the reasons, someone said to me the other day, Warren, you've been on the air for 45 years. Why do you keep going? I don't think anyone else has been on for that long. You're exactly why I keep going. And last week I posted, actually it was 2 weeks ago, if you were listening to the show, there was a veteran who called me up and told me how important, we had a conversation vet to vet, how important his dog was, and he was in tears the whole time. And it's you, my listeners, that give me the energy, the drive, and the reason to do this week after week after week, both shows week after week after week. And again, the reason I do that is because a lot of people in my profession always focus on, well, this is what you have to do, and this is how you stop your dog, and this is how you correct your cat. I want to spend my time in telling you, let's figure out why our dog or cats have a situation. Let's resolve it, because the bottom line is we want to enjoy them to the most we can. Some people call me, well, I used to love my dog, but now he started. No. We want to enjoy them. We want to love them. And the best way to do that is take the time to find out why they're behaving a certain way and resolve it that way. By the way, what do you think? More affectionate dogs or more affectionate cats, Frank?
Oh, I've got to say dogs. Even though we have cats, I've got to say dogs.
Yeah, all right.
I just think that cats are more fickle,
Well, maybe that's the experience you had. I don't know. Anyway, listen, don't go anywhere, Frank. I'm going to put you on hold. You're going to speak with the lovely Suzette, and we're going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. It's my favorite book, by the way. It really is one of my favorite books. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let's go to David in Irvine. Beautiful Irvine. Hi, David. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Warren. I actually just lost my notes. That's too bad. But as far as one of them was guardians or owners. No, the name is symbionts. A symbiont is someone you get along with and you both benefit from. Interesting.
But yeah, I listen, I'm telling you right off the bat, there's no one calling me from Arkansas saying symbiont. There's no one going to do it.
Yeah, well, look it up, man.
No, it's a great word. It's a great word. But do you think if someone used that word, that indicates that they love their dog or cat more than someone who uses guardian or owner?
Absolutely. I mean, guardian or owner is kind of possessive.
So if someone, and please take this the right way, I always consider myself their parents, their guardian, the one who takes care of them. And absolutely. And I always consider the relationship I have with my pets symbiotic. But that being said, yes. the person out there who may not use the term symbiotic, who uses the term owner, maybe they grew up when their parents used owner and owner.
I'm not complaining.
There you go. It's like me. It's the way they treat. More important than the word they use, it's the way they treat and care for their pets. Would you say that?
Absolutely.
So, David, what kind of pets do you have?
I have a 14-year-old cat and a 14-year-old Beagle Terrier mix.
God, and how'd they get along?
Oh, they get along great.
Who's more affectionate?
Each other.
Who's more affectionate? Go ahead. Who's more affectionate? I hope they're not listening.
Okay, the dog is... I used to think of dogs as kind of drunk football players, but he's actually a really social dog. And the cat is also very social, but I've seen the differences between them, some huskies are part cat, actually.
Huskies are amazing.
You notice that?
I don't know if did I ever tell my husky story, how I got into big trouble with a husky on Long Beach, well, not Long Beach, California, but Long Beach, Long Island. I am from Long Island. No one would know. I lost my accent years ago. So I'm going to tell you about how this husky, and I wrote about him in my autobiography. Maybe I'll talk about him later. Beautiful husky. I'll never forget the dog's name, Sebastian, and it's an interesting story. I'm going to talk about Sebastian the husky and how I got chased by a guy that was 6'4", 250 pounds down the beach because of this husky. We'll talk about that. Anyway, in the meantime, a really great call. David, don't go in. Let me do this. I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you, you know what? You have a dog. You walk you. I'm going to send you an air horn, okay? An air horn, one of those air horns that everyone should have, not only to keep coyotes and stray dogs away, but I'm telling you, it works with stray people also, and I carry that air horn no matter where I go. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. The question's pretty simple today. Dogs or cats, who do you feel is more affectionate? Also, we're going to talk about teenage dogs. And I'm telling you, if anyone out there has a teenage dog, take it from me. They're smarter than you think. They spend hours thinking of ways to annoy the people they live with. I'm telling you, they do. They're not home. They left me alone. I don't like what they're watching on TV. What can I do to annoy them? Teenage dogs. We'll talk about that when we come back. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. We'll get to you down when we come back, 866-870-5752. It's pretty rare we have open lines here on the Pet Show, but I get it. It's Easter weekend. So if you have a question or a comment, want to talk about a great dog or an Easter dog or cat you remember, give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Also, check out, we're broadcasting live on YouTube. If anyone wants to know what's behind me, feel free. Those two big books behind me, the one with the cat on it and the one with the two dogs on it, that book was published in, I think, 12 different languages. I don't know if it's available anymore. It's called The Illustrated Dog's Life and The Illustrated Cat's Life. These amazing photos done by an English company and published all over the world. And the photos, if you can get one of the books, I don't know if they're available, if you can find one, the photographs in there. And what I did is I evaluated all the photographs and talked about the different situations that dogs and cats go through. So The Illustrated Dog's Life, one of my favorite, actually two of my favorite books out there. My favorite book to this day, I love the dog book, I love the autobiography, but the cat book by far is still my favorite. And the reason I say that is because no one was talking about cat behavior back then. I had to bring it to the surface, and I believe I did. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. That's dancing around. Hey, we're back on The Pet Show. That number, 866-870-KRLA. Still coming up, I will talk to you about female dogs, and yes, they do hump. Not as much as male dogs, but they do. We'll talk about that in a bit. I'm going to get to you in a second, Don. We'll get to you, Madeline, as well. Those who listen to me on The Pet Show regularly, as well you should, realize that I'm probably not the most technical person when it comes to Instagram and all. I'm just not. I don't even know what Chat GPT is, but it bugs me. I came across this week, and I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on this, so please respond. Can now turn your pet into a human. And I'm telling you, it's freaking me out. There's always a new trend, but this new viral Chat GPT image generation prompt may be a step too far. It turns our dogs and cats into humans online. The reason I have my dogs and cats is because they're not human. The reason I have my dogs and cats is I want to get away from humans. I don't want my dogs or cats to be humans. So I don't get why people would want to see their dog or their cat as a human. Can't you just accept them that they're a dog or a cat? That's what they are. They accept us as being humans. Why? I don't like this idea. This idea is really bugging me. It's making me think that I don't want to visualize my dog as a human. I love them the way they are. What do you think? Do you want to visualize your dog as a human, or you just love them the way they are? All this new Chat GPT and I guess all this AI, all this new stuff is kind of really kind of freaking me out. What do you think about it? I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let's go to Don in beautiful Culver City. Hey, Don, welcome to the show.
Hello, Warren.
How's everything? I just love Culver City. I don't live in Santa Monica anymore. I live in Arizona. But when I lived in Santa Monica, Culver City was one of my go-to places.
I've been here almost my entire life.
Yeah, then you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot of changes. You've seen a lot of changes in Culver City.
Oh, you can't believe what downtown looks like from when I grew up here.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Anyway.
But there's still the original studios are there. That original hotel is there. By the way, that hotel there on the corner, that's where the Munchkins stayed, where they were shooting The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, believe me, my sister's a big with the Culver City Historical Society.
Yeah, so she would. By the way, Toto stayed there too and got paid more than the Munchkins. Just so you know, a little trivia on my part. Anyway, Don, what can I do for you?
Cats affectionate, yes.
More affectionate than dogs, or just as affectionate as dogs?
The cat I'm going to tell you about was more. Well, we've only had one dog that we ended up getting because a person from our church died. We had to take care of it for a while. But
what a great thing to do! What a great thing to do!
Been with cats all my life, but we think he didn't really know the breed. But he looked like a Russian blue.
So he's a gray-colored cat.
Yeah, and
okay.
So when I had him, I would lay on a recliner. He would come up onto my chest, look at me in the eyes, start purring, and then bump me with his nose on my mouth.
And do you know what that means, right?
Well, I mean, he's liking me. I got to figure that.
Well, no. In other words, it's more than just liking you. In other words, cats have scent glands, and what they do is when they bump their head against you, they're putting their scent against you a little bit, saying to you, not just I like you, but how much they absolutely love and adore you.
Well, and they're saying I own you too, probably.
There you go. There you go. You don't know what life is until you're owned by a cat. You're absolutely right.
He was the smartest, the most athletic cat. I mean, he would jump 4 feet in the air after a rolled-up piece of paper.
Gosh.
Leap into a paper bag, like do a head dive into an old paper bag, you know. The cat was amazing. Smartest cat. He'd try to open doors by himself.
It's amazing how smart they can be. It's absolutely amazing. You just brought something to mind, though, the fact that the cat was jumping into the bag. You can go out and spend $50 on a toy for your cat. Bring home a paper bag, your cat's going right in it. That's like when my parents I remember when I was a kid, my parents bought me a gift and it came in a big, big box. And as soon as they took the gift out of the box, I took the box outside and I made a fort out of it. I could care less about the gift. I was more excited about making a fort out of the big box the gift came in. It's a great story, but I'm so glad you called because so many people just assume that cats are not as affectionate as dogs. But I always say exactly what you said. They've never had the opportunity to be owned by a cat. So do you have any pets right now, Don?
What's that?
Do you have any pets right now?
No. And we're not going to get any more pets at this point.
Well, listen,
my sister and I live together. My sister and I live together in our inherited parents' house, and it's just I'm 78. My sister.
No, listen. When you know it's not the right thing, it's not the right thing. But you may want to do this though. You may want to volunteer a little bit with a cat rescue and kind of help them out in their own way. Anyway, Don, I got to move on, but don't go anywhere. I know you told me to donate your gift, but I want to send you a T-shirt anyway. So I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you a T-shirt. By the way, the T-shirts now come in a tremendous variety of colors. There's all different colors, and they come in sizes up to 5XL. So go to my website, thepetshow.com. Get yourself one of these T-shirts, and that money goes directly to the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Madeline, we'll get back to you after this. You know, for years, I talked 66870 KRLA. We have a whole other hour to go. I'm debating, Madeline, I'm going to take your call, but I might have to put you on hold again. I hate to do it to you. Hey, Madeline, welcome to the show. Hello, Madeline.
Yes.
Hi, Madeline.
Hello?
How are you? Hi, how are you?
I am very, very good. Do you remember I started telling you a story about accidentally going to the North Shore Animal
North Shore Animal League in Port Washington, Long Island, yeah.
Correct. It was an accident. I did not have a dog. I lived in Manhattan, and while I was there waiting for someone to come get me, I was looking at the animals, and there was a dog, a Lhasa Apso, behind bars, in the cages. We locked eyes. That dog, in that dog's eyes, I saw pleading.
Listen, Madeline, let me do this. I don't want to run out of time. I got a minute before I got to break for the top of the hour. We're just going to break for a couple of minutes. I want to come back. I want to hear the whole story. I know North Shore Animal League pretty well. I used to do a lot of training for them when I lived on Long Island, but you never know it anymore, right? Someone said to me I still have the accent. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what?
I said someone said I still have my Long Island accent.
They tell me I have my Brooklyn accent to this day, and I live in L.A.
So, Madeline, listen, now I'm going to put you on hold. Don't go anywhere. You'll be my first call when we come back after the break. The phone number here at the Pet Show, great time to call me. The question of the day is, do you believe cats or dogs are more affectionate? Still coming up, we're going to talk about humping female dogs, why teenage dogs challenge their guardians, do cats show affection, how they do it, and senior pets. We'll get to all those calls. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, just a couple of minutes. Then back to the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to the Pet Show. Dogs adore your cats and want to find out why they behave the way they do, why they jump or dig or hump or scratch or wake you up or don't use their litter box. You've come to the right place. That's what the Pet Show's all about. Great time to give me a call. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. I got T-shirts to give away. I have air horns to give away, copies of my best-selling books to give away, some calming and recovery products from my good friends over at acornpets.com. So great time to give me a call. Even if you just want to answer the question of the day, which is, do you believe cats or dogs are more affectionate, or do you believe cats are just as affectionate as dogs? Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. Before I get to the phone lines here, I just want to do this. Came up this week. Someone said to me, Warren, I saw a female dog humping another dog. Is that possible? Well, here you go. Yes, female dogs hump too. I wrote this. I'm going to put it up on YouTube this week. By the way, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Why do I keep telling you about going to YouTube and signing up there, subscribing? It's free. I'm telling you, and I've been telling you for a couple of weeks, there's going to be some major changes, and you're going to want to be following me on YouTube. So go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. You'll start seeing the change. By the way, while you're there, enjoy some of the videos and enjoy the archive shows as well. But let's get back to humping female dogs. You know, it may seem strange to a lot of people, or even funny, that female dog humping is normal behavior with many possible causes. From hormones to stress to play, the key is understanding the reason behind it and addressing it calmly with positive. You know, it can be surprising or even uncomfortable to watch your female dog humping a leg, a pillow, or even another dog. While many people think this behavior is only seen in male dogs, that's not the case. Female dogs hump too, and for a variety of reasons. Not just hormones, not just stress, or not just play. But also, it's indicative of dominant as well. So very often, you have a female dog that will hump another female dog or a male dog. Nothing sexual there. It's strictly a dominant situation. So if you're asking me, Warren, is it possible? Do female dogs hump? The answer is yes. Now you can go to sleep at night. You know the answer to that. Hey, the phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Great time to give me a call, 866-870-5752. By the way, coming up, just like teenage kids, teenage dogs will find any way they can to annoy the people they live with. Take it from me. I've been annoyed by a lot of teenage dogs in my life. What happened to Madeline? Madeline was up there just a second ago, and she was calling back, and she disappeared on me. I guess what happened? Anyway, we're going to get to you, Charmaine. We're going to get to you, Kathleen. But let me tell you this. A lot of you have been following the case of the fires in California. And you heard me with my friend Casey on the air, rescued Oreo, became a very, very well-known situation all over the world. Oreo became known as this dog that was rescued. But the problem is this, that for years, and even to this day, when there's a disaster, people are not allowed to go in to see their dogs or rescue their dogs. So there's some legal stuff going on. So next week on the show, the second half of the show next week, I'm going to have Judith Mancuso on with me. And she's involved with Casey with this Oreo law. It's a new law giving, I guess, I got to do some more research on it, but giving people the right. And I remember when I was at Ground Zero right after 9/11, and I was hearing the same thing. And even while I was there working at 9/11 with the dogs, I heard from people say, well, my cat, my dog, I haven't seen, but I can't, they won't let me in. They won't let me in. So we're going to talk to Judy Mancuso next week, and we'll find out what new law they're pushing, what can be done, and how you can support the situation, because I think none of us want to be caught in that situation again. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let's go to Torrance and Charmaine, I believe it is. I don't like your question, Charmaine. Charmaine, welcome to the Pet Show, Charmaine.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you so much. I have a cat that was born last August. I got it when it was 4 months old. It is missing one back leg. That is one of the reasons why I just fell in love with this cat. It's from a reputable rescue place, which I had to sign a contract on. And this cat has bitten me, scratched me. I cannot lean over to pick it up. I have to wear gloves. When it wants to be sweet, it will. It'll come on my lap and fall asleep. And I think, oh, how wonderful. Look at this. It's starting to be nice to me. I'll go to move it or pick it up, and it bites me. I have gone through Band-Aids. I have been bleeding. My hands,
Charmaine, let me ask.
What to do with this cat.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. You said the cat is missing a leg, back or front?
The back.
And do you know how that happened?
No, I don't. I got all the papers from the rescue place, and it said it was amputated, but they didn't say why.
Okay, so if it was amputated,
cat runs around.
But if the leg was amputated, it tells me at some point that the cat was obviously had a lot of damage done to that leg if it had to be amputated. So it could have been either physical abuse or pain. And it's very possible a cat going through that associates being picked up or being handled with pain. And therefore, it's not that the cat is a cat with a bad temperament. It's a cat that doesn't want to have any pain anymore. And I understand that entirely. So here's what you need to do. Putting gloves on and forcing the situation is only going to make the cat more assertive. You've had the cat for about a year now, right? How old is the cat?
No, the cat was born in August, and I got it in late November. So the cat's only about 8 months old.
So it's still a very young cat. I would love to find out why the leg was amputated, at what age the leg was amputated. That can make a big difference in terms of behavior. However, what you need to understand is I'm not dealing with an aggressive cat here. I'm dealing with a cat that's been hurt and a cat that's being protective of itself. What you need to do is just spend a lot of time without picking up the cat, just getting the cat to feel totally comfortable with you. It's a young cat. It's only 8 months old. Picking it up right now, he may associate being picked up with pain when he had his leg amputated, or maybe the reason behind the leg being amputated. We don't know. And the fact that we don't know is going to make me respond a little bit different. So my gut reaction here, it's more than a gut reaction, having worked with as many thousands of cats in situations similar, is to build up the cat's confidence a little bit at a time. Give him a lot of distractions, a lot of things to play with, tremendous amount of stimulation. Leave articles of your clothing all around the house. If you feed him once a day, don't give him more food, but feed him smaller amounts 3 or 4 times a day. Food is love. That's important. Also, wait for him to come to you to be picked up rather than going to him to pick him up. He's associating being picked up with aggressive behavior, and the fact that you're putting gloves on, I think it's going to make it a lot worse. What you have here is a cat that has to be, that has to be counter-conditioned into understanding that you and people are positive, not negative. Now, even though the vets that took care of him and the rescue that took care of him might have been the greatest people in the world, but let's face it, he did have his leg amputated, so the association with people is not going to be that positive right off the bat. Give him time, more time. He's only 8 months old. No overly correcting. Talk to him all the time. When you leave the house, leave a radio on, unwashed articles of your clothing around. Is he using a litter box consistently?
Yes, he's very good with that.
Okay, so we're ahead of the game, but I really want you to focus on the mental stimulation. The more stimulated a cat is, the less apt they are to show. Same thing with dogs. Excuse me, that assertive behavior. So I want you to understand that this is not an aggressive cat. It's not a killer cat. It's a cat that my heart breaks for. At 8 months old, it has to adjust to the world with a challenge already. And it went from one place to the shelter, a vet, to you. Give it more time, a lot of talking, a lot of patience. Patience is a virtue when it comes to dealing with situations like yours. So be really, really patient with him. Give it a lot of time. If you can feed him more often, grow some organic plants for him. You can use some of those pheromone things that you plug into the walls. All of that can make a big difference. But I'm going to tell you right now, that cats like this, and I've had many cats with amputations, cats like this, once they realize that being around you and other people is always positive, not negative, that's where the counter conditioning comes in. Doesn't happen overnight, but little by little, building up the dog's confidence and letting the cat adapt a little at a time, make all the difference in the world for you. I want you to carefully tell the cat that he's there for life. Once he knows he's there for life, I'm going to send you a copy of the cat book as well. Don't just put it on the shelf. Read it. What we really need to do, and the most important part of the cat book, forget about the litter box training, forget about this, forget about that. If you were to ask me the most important thing in my cat book, it's about building up the cat's self-image, building up the cat's self-esteem, building up the cat's self-confidence. When those things are built up, just like a person that's self-confident, just like a person that has strong self-esteem, they get along in the world a whole lot better. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put you on hold. What's the cat's name, by the way?
Auggie.
Auggie, what a great name. So let me ask you a question. Have you always had cats? Have you had dogs as well?
I've had cats and dogs all my life, and I have never had a cat like this.
Well, you're lucky because this cat's going to turn out to be the friendliest cat you ever had if you follow my advice. So my question to you is, do you believe cats are just, is it not your cat right at the moment, but do you believe that cats are just as affectionate as dogs?
They can be. I've had cats that were tremendously affectionate, like little angels, wonderful, until I got this one.
Well, let me tell you, the cat. This is what I'm talking about with dogs today. Teenage dogs. It holds true for teenage cats as well. Let me tell you, teenage cats or teenage dogs, they present certain challenges. You know, it's their, make me, show me. But once you get across to them that life is good, no one's going to hurt them anymore. That self-esteem, that self-confidence is there. You're going to have a wonderful relationship with Auggie. Anyway, don't go away. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette will pick up. And a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want will be on its way. By the way, people said to me, hey, Warren, can we buy copies of How to Get Your Dog or How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want? Yeah, they're available at Amazon.com, so check them out there. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Got a couple of open lines. I know it's Easter. I expect that, but if you have a question or a comment, want to share a great story, great time to call me. I do have books, as I just gave away, some air horns to give away, some T-shirts to give away, and some calming and recovery products from the people over at Acorn. So if you have a question or a comment, great time to give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. I don't know what happened to Madeline. She disappeared. I put her on hold last week and told her to call back, and she disappeared on me. She adopted a dog from North Shore Animal League, which, by the way, located in Port Washington, Long Island. And a lot of celebrities behind it. Howard Stern and his wife Beth are behind it. A lot of big celebrities. They got a lot of money. Do great work, but right around the corner from North Shore Animal League is where I hung out most of my time, which was the Town of North Hempstead shelter, and I spent a lot of time. In fact, I would bring a lot of their dogs on the Today Show with me to find homes for them. We found homes for hundreds and hundreds of dogs there as well. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me take a break. Kathleen, you'll be my first call when we come back in beautiful Redondo Beach. There are so many great organizations that help out. The Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein, that number 866-870-KRLA. We have Kathleen, we have Mike. I see Madeline's back as well. So Kathleen, let me jump back to Madeline because she's been waiting like 2 weeks. Then I'm going to get to you in Redondo Beach. We'll answer your questions about your cats. We'll get to you, Mike, as well. Do have an open line, 866-870-KRLA, 870-5752. Let me just take a second or two here to talk about the last call we had about the cat with the 3 legs. Here's some critical things you should be doing. Playtime is essential. Play the way the cat wants to play. Don't force it. Establish a routine. Create a calm environment. Using as pheromones can help. Avoid reinforcing hyper behavior. You see, when the cat is being assertive or aggressive is usually when you react, therefore making the cat even more hyper at that point. Socialize and training, good nutrition can make all the difference in the world for you. 866-870-KRLA. Let me go to Madeline first. Hey, Madeline, you with me?
Hi, can you hear me?
Absolutely. So you got the cat from North Shore Animal League in Port Washington.
No,
you weren't looking. Rather the dog. You weren't looking for a dog, but this dog had a sign that said,
right.
Madeline, I'm yours. So tell me about the dog.
Well, a Lhasa Apso.
Okay.
He was 4 years old, and I adopted him. They gave me his papers. He had 16 champions in his charts, and there was a note that told me what foods he liked, but what it didn't tell me is that he had a tendency to bite, and he did bite. He bit my mother on her breast once because he was on a table and she wanted to take him off, but I loved him. He never bit me, and I don't think he bit anyone else, like out of the family, but he was very difficult to train, very stubborn. And you know what he used to do? They're the Tibetan holy dogs. And so he would jump on the couch. I had pillows all over the place. He'd pull the pillows together to make like a throne, and then he'd jump on the arm of the couch to the back of the couch, and then jump on the pillows and sit on the throne with his paws crossed.
So I'm assuming you no longer have the dog.
Well, he died.
Oh, okay.
At 13. Now, what happened was I moved to L.A., and on a visit, I stayed here, and I didn't want to cargo him from New York to L.A., so a friend of mine was driving, and she said, I'll drive cross-country, and she drove him cross-country to me. I mean, that dog. And then, he was wonderful. I loved him, but he always had a stubborn streak.
Well, first of all, let's change the word stubborn, okay? Right off the bat. Okay, I don't care if he came from champions or not champions, okay? If I was really delving into it, I'd find out was it crossbreeding, was it line breeding, but I'm not getting into that. I don't care, champion or no champion. This dog was at North Shore Animal League at 4 years old. Mm-hmm. Where did the dog come from? Who had the dog before you?
A family.
Why did the family give the dog up?
I can't remember why. I don't even know if I knew why, but having owned him, I know why. He bit.
But that's not that. No, we don't know if he bit before that. We don't know if he. And let's.
Oh, they didn't give me any information.
Okay, that's a mistake. But if they had it, but more important than that, okay, the term stubborn does not apply to animals. The term independence, the term maybe a little rebellious, applies to animals, but stubborn doesn't. It's not like you say, I want to bite you. So in terms of the biting that he did, and he only bit your mom, right? In terms of the biting that he did, that might have been what we call fear biting. I don't know what his past was like. Could have easily been resolved with someone, behaviorist or a trainer. But all that being said, you gave this dog a great life. Now, the Lhasa Apso is a Tibetan breed, as you said. Of all the breeds of dogs out there, the Lhasa has one of the keenest sense of hearing of any breeds. And the reason for that is they were used in Tibet by the monks as alarm dogs. When the monks were being invaded, because of their incredible sense of hearing, the Lhasas would react and start barking. They're small dogs. What are they going to do? However, their barking arose the Tibetan Mastiffs, which is an incredibly great, large breed of dog, to go out and protect the monks. So, an incredible breed of dog, but they were raised specifically to react to strangers that way. But in the 70s and the 80s, the Lhasas were very popular. I was training Lhasas every single day, and then they kind of disappeared. Well, that's the point I'm bringing up here, is there were so many breeders out there. Everyone wanted a Lhasa back then, so they were breeding them, brother and sister, mother and son, well, who knows what. So there could be some breeding issues as well. But the fact that you had the dog, I adore you right off the back, the fact that you had the dog for 13 years, even though he bit your mother. That just shows. I'm sorry I wasn't there to resolve the issue back then, but we resolved it. Do you have any pets now, Meline?
I do. I have Skylar, who I adore.
And tell me about Skylar.
She's 7, and she's a Havanese.
Oh, you went to a Cuban dog, from a Tibetan dog to a Cuban dog. There you go.
I tell people she barks in Spanish.
There you go. And you live in L.A. now, right?
I live in L.A., yes.
And you walk the dog, right?
Yes, and she also has a front lawn, which is caged in, with a beautiful, raised dog bed, like it's 3-4 feet long. It's got a shade top, so the sides are open, but the top is covered.
Madeline, in the future, I'd like to come back as one of your dogs, except for the biting of your mother.
You absolutely should.
Anyway, listen, I'm going to put you on hold and let you speak to Suzette. I want to send you an air horn. The reason for that is no matter where you live, LA especially, if you're taking your dogs for a walk, there are people stealing dogs and craziness all over the place. Not just in LA, but all over the country. When I take my dogs out, I always have an air horn in my hand, in my pocket. So an air horn on its way to you. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. By the way, let me take a break, Kathleen. I'm going to get right to you when we come back. Mike, you as well. Let me remind you about the T-shirts again. They now come in dozens of colors. They come in dozens of sizes. And if I feel like I'm pushing the T-shirts, I am. And here's why. This week alone, I got probably 50 or 60 requests from mom and pop rescues all across America. These are the rescues you've never heard of. These are the rescues that do the majority of the work. Every T-shirt we sell at thepetshow.com, my website, thepetshow.com. That money goes directly to my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, so then I can send money to all of these small mom and pop organizations across the country. So check out Hugs and Kisses Animalfund.org. You can make a donation there, or to purchase a T-shirt and help me, just check out thepetshow.com. That's thepetshow.com. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Kathleen, you're up next. Mike, you're up right after that. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Also coming up, teenage dogs. Are they delinquent or not? I'll share the story with you when we come back. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Warren Eckstein, 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me get right back to the phone lines here. Let's shoot over to Kathleen in Redondo Beach. Hi, Kathleen. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren. How are you?
I am doing absolutely fine. It's a nice, cool day in Arizona today. Not too hot. Probably be 100 tomorrow, but right now it's pretty nice. What can I do for you?
I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you, but
I'll talk louder.
Probably my end. Real quick, so I rescued two cats that I think are brothers. They were about a year old when I rescued them, about a year and a half ago. So let's say they're 2.5. And it took them a while, about 4 months. They paid more attention to each other than me, and that's fine. But they were very loving. There's a little one I call Baby, and a big one I call Angelo. But Baby,
wait. What a difference in name. What a difference in names, Baby and Angelo.
I know. I know. And I was just going to get one. I went to the Carson shelter, and I couldn't just take one because I think they're brothers, and they were in the cage together. So
yeah, there's nothing like taking a bonded pair of pets and adopting them together.
And I love them to death, but especially little Baby is so funny because talk about headbutting and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. And he now, in the last 4 months, he wants to sit on my chest, and then he just kisses me. A little, kind of rubbing me, but he puts his lips right on my mouth. It's so funny. But anyway, he'll start rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, and I know what's coming next. Then he'll bite me. And I see them do that to each other.
Yeah.
They will clean each other. They'll clean each other's ears and head, and then they fight. So I think I'm part of the tribe, and that's what he's doing to me.
Yeah, in other words,
really
the cat...
That, but,
yeah, the cat is perceiving you as another cat, and that's not uncommon, especially if the two cats grow up together and didn't come into a human situation until later. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So the biting is you don't want to correct it, because correcting it's going to scare the cat. However, you have to be a really, really good watcher. And by that I mean before the cat bites, there's always an indication. The ears go a different way, the pupils go a different way, the tail... Walk away. Don't say a word. Just walk away at that point. Leave the cat wanting. Because if you react...
I think he gets overly stimulated.
Well, that's what happens. Especially,
it just goes and goes and goes, and then it's too much.
Well, male cats especially. Sometimes a male cat, if you stroke them too much or you pet them too much, they get excited, and the biting is part of the relationship with the female. But that's not. I think in your case, it's just a matter you are stimulating them too much. Nothing to be overly concerned about. But while I got you on the phone, and I was going to do this week. I'm going to give you a list of ways cats show affection. Number 1, they rub against you. Number 2, as you said, they lick you. Number 3, they follow you everywhere. They stare at you. They greet you when you come home. They show their belly. They sleep with you. They meow, and they bring you gifts. That's what I call a good friend.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when I go to bed, they come in my room, which is fine. But lately, he'll bite my head as I'm laying there asleep.
Well, and what do you do? What do you do? You get up, right?
You know what I do? Maybe this is wrong, but I don't think it was too bad. When he starts biting, because I got to stop him, I have to, because it gets the first bite's not as bad, and then it gets worse. So I grab him by the scruff of his neck, and I march him. No.
He's not biting you because he doesn't like you. He loves you. So it's not I want to bite you bite. It's a bite the way he would behave.
He's me like I'm bleeding. So
walk away. Look at him. You can always tell before a cat reacts. 99% of the time, walk away, because the minute you react, you're reinforcing that behavior. Just like what I was going to talk about, if I get to it today, with teenage dogs, when you react to a dog or a cat, and that reaction may be negative or positive, but if it's a reaction that gets attention, it's a reaction they're going to continue doing. They're going to continue doing that to get that reaction, whether it be good or bad on your part. Just like teenagers, they do the same thing. I know I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to be home late, but I still come home late. That's what you're going through right now, Kathleen. Watch them carefully. Know beforehand. You know what? I'm trying to think of what I want to send you. T-shirt.
Because he gets really work. I mean, he really starts coming after you. So I don't know if I can get away, because he'll follow me, grab my leg, and bite me more.
You know what? Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to send you an air horn, but listen to me very, very carefully. The air horns are really loud. I want you to take the air horn somewhere else, not by the cats, and practice, because if you just tap it, you get a little quick squeak, and that'll be enough.
Right.
Okay? And try that a couple of times, see if that doesn't make a difference for you, okay? But practice first, because I don't want you to put the whole thing down, because it does make a loud noise. I'm not looking to scare the cat. I'm just looking to get the cat's attention at that point.
Okay.
Give me a call back. Let me know how you're doing, Kathleen. I'm putting you on hold, so that's going to pick up, and we're going to send you an air horn. Excuse me, gosh. Let me go to Mike in L.A. Hey, Mike. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I have a question. I have a. She was basically a rescue. She's 4 years old now. She's half Labrador and half something else. I'm not sure what. Real pretty dog, but at this point, at 4 years old, she's having tummy issues where she has, a sensitive stomach, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of food to get. Now, we just went to the vet recently, just like yesterday, a couple of days ago, and the vet recommended some dog food for her, and some medicine also to help with the blockage that's in her stomach. We did find out that she's gluten intolerant, but the food that we got from Chewy that was recommended by the vet, she didn't like that either. So I'm trying to figure
the vet didn't like it, or the dog didn't like it? The vet didn't like it, or the dog didn't like it?
I'm sorry. The dog didn't like it.
Okay. Well, what food did the vet recommend? I'm not at home right now, so I don't recall. But it was something to help with. Okay, so then obviously the vet has picked up on something with the stomach, so he wants the dog on medication. So I'm not going to change the food. But what I can do is I can get the dog to eat the food. What I want you to do is take the food before you give it to the dog. Take some tuna juice. There's a little bit of the water from spring water tuna. Pour a little bit of water on top of it. Pop it in the microwave for a minute. Let it heat up. Take it out, let it cool down a little bit, then give it to the dog. It's really important that people understand that dogs eat with their nose. So no matter how bad a dog food is or how good a dog food is, if it doesn't smell right to them, they're going to eat it or not. So what happens when you heat food up, it makes it smell a whole lot better. So I would definitely at this point suggest that you heat the food up before you give it to them. If that doesn't work, then I would call the vet and say, hey, listen, doc, I'm giving her the medication, but the bottom line is the food that you're recommending for her stomach isn't working. Is there another food specifically for digestion that I could recommend at this point? And I'm sure he's going to recommend something with a prebiotic and probiotic formula.
Yeah, that's what he recommended. That's what we got from Chewy. But tried that last night. As a matter of fact, he did heat up the food last night, and she did eat most of it. All
right, so then that's a start. That's a start. Don't try to force her. A dog with a bad stomach, don't try to force her to eat more than she wants to eat. The fact that she ate most of the food last night, you heated it up, just continue doing that. You're right on track. You can ask them if you can use a little, maybe a chicken bone meal or beef bone meal, just to add a little flavor to the food as well. But ask your vet first. But it sounds to me, till we get the stomach in check here, we need to follow his advice with the medicine and the food. But if he's not eating that food, call him up and say, listen, doc, you got to recommend a different type of food because the dog's not eating it, and I'm sure he will. But the fact that you heated it up last night and the dog ate it, you're ahead of the game at this point.
Well, let me tell you, what we gave her last night was just chicken, because she likes chicken, just regular chicken. Heated that up, before we gave her the recommended dog food.
So take her dog food, take the chicken. Let the chicken sit in the dog food in a Tupperware bowl. Put it in the refrigerator overnight. This way the dog food will pick up the smell of the chicken. Then you can pop that in the microwave, and the smell of the chicken may be all you need to encourage you to eat. Now, ask the vet if you can use a little boiled chicken on top of it as well. But the fact that you can take the chicken and put it in Tupperware to make the food really smell like chicken, leave it overnight, then heat it up, I think that'll make a difference for you, Mike. If not, we can go a little bit further, but I want you to stay with the vet's advice at this point.
Okay, because the food that the vet recommended, we gave her to her this morning, and she didn't like it at all.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Try to put it in with the chicken overnight before we decide that she's not eating it. Now, if you do that, she's still not eating it, then another conversation with the vet would have to be taken at that point. But I think if you take that chicken, you make it really smell good, I think that's really going to encourage her to eat the dry food, which is important in terms of digestion at this point. But if she's not going to eat the food the vet's recommending, go back to him, ask him to recommend another food that would be beneficial in terms of her stomach. Great call, by the way. What's your dog's name, Mike?
Ava Gardner.
Ava Gardner. There you go. Anyway, give that a shot. Give me a call back if you still have problems. I'm going to put you on hold. In the meantime, I'm going to send you a T-shirt. But give me a call back in a week or so. Let me know how she's doing. I'll go a little bit further with you, but I would also run it by the vet because if no matter what medicine or no matter what type of food you're going to give the dog, if the dog's not going to eat it, she's not going to get better. So, but those secrets really do work. You can check out just taking that food, mixing it with some chicken, a little bit of chicken, ask the vet first, pop it in the microwave. I had to do that with a couple of my dogs over the years, and it really made a big difference. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we'll try to get to Brent and Ray. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Let me get back to the busy phone lines here, 866-870-KRLA. Let's go to Brent in Los Angeles. Hi, Brent. Welcome to the show.
A blessed Passover and Easter, Warren.
And back at you, Brent. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I hate to bring this newest catastrophic environment-destroying news to the Pet Show on God's illuminating days, but have you heard how progressive science has now proven that pet dogs are environmental villains and that the environmental impact of owned dogs is far greater, more insidious, and more concerning than generally recognized? And Mother Jones recently published, "Your golden retriever is basically an oil spill with paws." So now to save the planet, the loving left are coming for our dogs. And I guess it's been a good 10,000-year run, but it's now over. All our dogs got to go to save Mother Earth.
You know, Brent, it's interesting that you bring that article up in that magazine, which, by the way, I used to read once in a while. But here's the situation. This is not new. This has been going on for a long time. A lot of environmental people on the extreme left, and I say extreme left, I mean extreme left, have been talking about this, dogs outside, they destroy the environment, and they destroy wildlife, and they destroy this, and they destroy that, and they destroy this. Let me tell you, the biggest destruction of this planet walks upright, and it's not our dogs. and it makes me absolutely crazy when I hear these things, because some people are going to take it to heart. And I guarantee you will see protests start. Well, we got to get rid of the dogs. They're doing the environment. They're doing this. I say, just like you said, dogs have been around since we've been walking upright. Cats have been around since ancient Egyptian times. And when people say these things, now, is it legitimate? Yeah, there could be some legitimacy that cow flatulence is destroying the planet. But you know what? This is the planet we all live on. We can make whatever changes we can make, but let's not blame it on the dogs and the cats. How about blaming it on other things that environmentally destroy us? That's not our dogs and cats. That's where they need. But you're absolutely right. There is a far left group, not the people I deal with, but a far left group that thinks that no one should be able to live with dogs or cats because of their destruction to the environment. And I would say what I really think on the air, but I want to be back on with you next week, so I better not really say what's on my mind. But great call, by the way, Brent, because I agree with you 100%. These are people that are just angry. These are people that are looking for every issue that's going to generate clicks. And I heard this story all week on different news outlets, and that's exactly what it did. It got a lot of clicks, but I guarantee you the majority of people out there, and 65-70% with dogs and cats, look at this and say, you know what, it is totally so much BS, and I'm not going to react to it all. Now, is it true? Is it possible that my dog peed on something and killed a bush? It's possible, but you know what? I used to live in L.A. It's not just the dogs peeing on the bushes and killing them, okay? So the bottom line is I'm tired of people going after dogs and cats or blaming the animals for flatulence. The cow's flatulence is destroying the planet. I don't know. Brent, I agree with you 100%. It is a fringe far left, but I just hope it doesn't become mainstream.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it's very evil, and it reminds me of the time I made a call to you concerning a Twilight Zone. The episode is called The Hunt, where dogs were allowed into heaven, but they were not allowed into hell. And so I think anybody who wants to ban dogs, really, we're not looking at the environment, we're looking at their soul.
Yeah, and you just hit the nail on the head. There are some people out there, I've had the biggest fights with people about whether or not dogs have souls. And I would venture to say that I believe all living things have souls. And my dog's souls visit me all the time, and my cats and my pigs and my chickens. So I believe animals have souls just as well as people. So, Brent, what kind of pets do you have now? Do you have any pets?
No, unfortunately, I don't right now. I just go off into nature.
So you're being a good environmentalist, huh, Brent?
I love the environment. I love animals, and anybody who doesn't, they got a screw loose. There was a time years ago where I would read those magazines, and I would read Rolling Stone, and I would read all these magazines, and never agreed with them, but I always wanted to get all the sides, all the different things of the issues,
So yeah, they keep come up with these stories, and you know what they're doing? They're getting a lot of clicks, and that's what they want. But in terms of realism, in 100,000 years from now, dogs will still be around, cats will still be around, and so will Mother Earth. Anyway, Brent, don't go in there. I want to put you on hold. I want to send you a T-shirt that says "None of my friends walk upright," and I really do appreciate that phone call. Gosh, I don't know what to do here. Got so many things I want to talk about. I want to get to Ray as well. Let me do this. Ray, we're going to try to get to you. If not, I'll take you on my network show. Your teenage dog, and I just wrote this week, your teenage dog will find it very fun to find what annoys you the most and what gets them attention, even if it's negative attention, and then do it over and over and over again. They sound just like me when I was a kid. They also tend to do it with more other dogs they live with or meet. Don't take it personally. In fact, by overreacting to the moments, by giving your dog attention, you're inadvertently reinforcing that behavior. So the bottom line is, don't let on that your dog is succeeding in pushing your buttons. Instead, calmly interrupt and redirect the behavior. The less of a fuss you make about their shenanigans, the more likely they'll be able to give them up and try other ways to get your attention. I'm telling you, teenage dogs, when I was running the largest training school in New York, Master Dog Training School, when I was running it, I would say a vast majority of people would adopt a puppy, purchase a puppy, and then all of a sudden that puppy would reach those teenage years at 5.5, 6, 7, 8 months old, and the phone call would come in, hey Warren, I can't control the dog. He's jumping, he's humping, he's digging, he's doing this, he's doing that. Teenage dogs, they're going to test you just like people, just like our teenage kids, but don't overreact. Calmly, don't react to it, and focus on the good behavior. It'll make all the difference in the world for you. Quick break, then we're going to try to get back to Ray right after this. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. If not, I'll bring him over to my network show. Hey, Ray, welcome to The Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. I'm calling about my newly adopted giant Armenian Gampr. Do you know that breed?
Not overly familiar with that breed. How large is it?
Well, they go from 80 pounds to 125. And I had just lost my golden retriever. I was trying to get a golden retriever, but I wasn't having any success with the adoption agencies. And they said keep waiting and waiting. So I actually found this one at the Lancaster rescue. I just wondered, I had no history on her. I just picked her up last Monday. She had been spayed in the morning, and I picked her up in the afternoon, so she was a little groggy. But without any history, I just went on my own. She seemed like a sweetheart, which she is. She's just very.
Hey, Ray, let me do this. I really want to focus on your call. I have to break for the top of the hour, okay? Write this number down. This is my number for the network show. You'll be my first call. You can start calling at 1 o'clock. Let it ring and ring and ring. It goes to Washington, D.C., to Radio America, Armed Forces Radio. And this goes for anyone else if they want to call a national show, which starts as soon as I get off the air here. That phone number is 877-8255. It's also toll-free. 877-725-8255. Same type of show. I give away the same thing. So, Ray, give me a call there. I'll take your call as soon as it comes in, and we'll resolve this situation for you. And congratulations on your new dog. It's a breed. I'm familiar with most breeds. You know, there's more than the AKC. There's something called the FCI, Federation Cynologue Internationale de Brussels, Belgium, which registers 300-400 different breeds that I never heard in this country. So anyway, give me a call on that number, Ray. We'll get to you there. We'll help you resolve the situation with your new dog, and I appreciate it. Again, the number, if you want to call, 877-8255. Till next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you once again for listening to The Pet